What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Wingin It podcast. We are back. I hope you guys had a nice week off. Even though I did leave y'all a present, I hope y'all enjoyed the present that me and Mr. T gave y'all. What kind of fella? And so that being said, Andre, how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing good. I mean, because there's been some hilarious updates that came out in gaming this week that
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I called this, I called that. I knew this was going to happen.
This is gonna be a hilarious one, people. And our good buddy, Action Jack, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Just busy, busy, busy.
Yeah, it's been one of those weeks where I called it because I went on vacation, and
Yeah, you did. You really did.
they decided to do that. But we're gonna get into that one in a little bit because before I left, we had this whole Mario situation with the 35th anniversary, and we didn't really talk about it. So we're gonna give our quick little thoughts on it. Me
Okay.
personally, my the quickest thought you're gonna hear from me on this is I really don't care. So
Right.
I mean, I know people are mad about it, but my thing is this: if you find value in it, get it. If you don't,
Right.
don't.
Don't get
I'm
it.
not gonna tell you not to spend your money. Because people are telling people not to buy it. I'm like,
Right.
if you tell me that, I'm gonna ask you what bill of mine you paying this month
Right. Exactly.
because you don't want me telling you not to buy nothing. So if put the shoe on the other foot. And I've said this before. We all have games. If you are a true gamer, somebody who loves video games, we all have have a game series that we will buy if they no matter how many times they re-release it.
Right. Right.
I've already told you. If Nintendo releases Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, guess who's buying it?
Right.
No
Mm-hmm.
questions asked. I'm not saying that. I'm not even going to sit up and do a video about it. I'm just gonna have it.
Right.
So that's my quick thoughts on that. Andre, your thoughts?
I mean, I'm pretty much paralleling the same thing you're saying. Like, if people don't want it, they don't have to get it. Like, as simple as that. Like, it's at this point, it's more content for people to be able to enjoy it. People that haven't played those games get a chance to play
Mm-hmm.
them. Now, I can understand people wishing that the upgrades to those games and what they are, but at the same, I don't really care.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Simple as that.
Jack.
Um, kind of on the same level as you guys, but the thing for me, from what I've seen on Twitter, it's always the comparisons of Crash and Spyro and Uncharted and everything like that, to where I'm looking at all the other compilations they're talking about, and Mario. I think Nintendo's the only one that can get away with still selling Mario at full price, and they know that. So they're not going to upscale anything for these games for the most part, and they're going to sell you three games for $60, opposed to what they probably would have done if, let's say, for the rumors, people wanted them to do it in the Odyssey engine. You really thought Nintendo was going to give you three games in the Odyssey engine and not charge you $60 a piece
Oh, you
for it?
done lost your
Mm,
mind.
nah,
You done
nah.
lost your mind.
They
No.
would. They definitely would have been charging 60 a piece for it. See, the furthest thing I would have thought is that they would have done like DLC, like Mario 64
Right.
DLC for Odyssey, and that's no less than $20 coming from them.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
So even with that, so I'm looking at it from the limited time. Get the game if you really want it, get it. And then everyone wants to say, okay, well, what about those? I'm like, you don't care about people like that to try to just
Yeah.
set up your narrative. Yeah, you care about them, but in all honesty, if they don't get it within the 6 month time span, you don't care if they have it or not.
You
Um,
you didn't plan on getting it.
you didn't at
Yeah.
all. It's the same thing with the people, like when you talk about the rumor of the Switch Pro that we talked about. Everybody was like, well, what about the people that's getting it for Christmas? If you waited 3 to 4 years to get the Switch, that's your fault. I don't know any other way to swing that with you. It's just, it's just like if
Yeah.
you got a 2080 right now, you can't get mad because the 3080 or the 30 series is coming out. It's just you chose to buy it late. It is what it is. I mean, but for Mario, I mean, I never finished Sunshine, and I mean, I would love to play it because even when I try to emulate it, it doesn't play all that great. But I mean, I'm not dropping 60 on it. I'd rather go with Hyrule Warriors than I will with Mario. But I mean, if I feel interested enough, I'll go pick it up.
I, and plus, can we be 100% honest? Mario is way more well known than any of them other
Right,
compilations.
oh yeah,
You
right,
can't sit there and pretend like Uncharted is on the same level notoriety wise as Mario.
It's
Damn near
not.
nobody in gaming is.
Now somebody tried to argue with me about that, but they were trying to argue with me about Crash, and I was like,
Not the same.
Crash.
Crash
I said
is nowhere
Crash.
near as notable.
Crash is because he was like, well, Crash is getting the game coming out, and like I guess in a couple of months, if not next month. I was like, but realize how long Crash was gone before then.
Um,
And then even with that compilation, you're talking about it. Would you really pay 40 or $60 for a the first Crash Bandicoot, even if it was upscaled the same way? No, they had to put it in the compilation. You're not buying those games individually. Crash don't hold the same clout.
Here's the thing: if anybody want to go with you about Mario not having clout, Mario is going to be in the Tokyo Olympics.
Yes, he
I
always
rest my
yes.
case. I rest my case.
Come
I rest my
on.
case.
Come on, man. I mean, Crash, while, I feel like Crash came up again due to the whole Smash Brothers thing. But
Yeah.
once again, that's Nintendo. It's no one's really checking for Crash like that. It really not. In this game, it looks awesome, the next one, but Crash is not on the same level as Mario. So that's why Nintendo can get away with charging you $60 for doing almost nothing. I'm not gonna say they didn't do anything, but not what you thought they were gonna do.
Yeah. So yeah, that whole I love when people try to do that whole argument of Crash or like Uncharted or like somebody. I'm like, bruh, Mario's good. Mario is a mascot for the freaking Olympics. At that point,
Yes.
all conversation is over.
Yes. Exactly.
I mean, and that has been Tokyo. That Japan has said it. Yeah, it was gonna be him, Sonic, and Goku. I think it was.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Even the parades are the same way.
yeah. So like,
But just look at the lineup of characters that they're picking to represent it as mascots. Each of them has a long standing in media for like
Yes.
years. They've been
over
around
30.
for the 20 to 30 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Over 30. I mean, when you look at, let's see, because when did Dragon Ball started? That manga started what, 83?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there,
The
yeah.
original one, yeah.
Yeah, the original started in 83. It went from 83 to 96, Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z,
Non-stop.
nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
And then the anime got so popular that it the anime got so popular to the point where people know who Goku is and know what a Super Saiyan is and don't know anything about the series. They hate the series, but they know what a Super Saiyan is. I've seen anime heads hate Dragon Ball Z, don't know nothing about the characters, but know what a Super Saiyan is.
Right. Mm-hmm.
There was people who did not like that series told me that Ganondorf in Hyrule Warriors was Super Saiyan 3 Ganon. I rest my case. And that is a perfect segue. So,
Wow. Okay.
Legend of Zelda, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, Nintendo, why you do this to me, man?
I swear, did we talk about this like twice? We talked about it twice.
The first time we talked about it was when I got mad at the Champions DLC, the Champions Ballot, and I couldn't play as the Champions. I was pissed off, and we did a podcast right after that. We both said that was a missed opportunity because why in the hell are you gonna have Champions Ballot and I can't play as the Champions?
Right.
That makes no sense because all 4 champions are fighters, are supposed to be master fighters. Why can't I fight as them? It ain't like we're not asking you to change the whole gameplay because you can just use the same gameplay you gave Link.
Right.
So I mean that's what I was thinking, and we did that podcast. I think a couple people hated me on that.
A couple people hate it, but the very same people that hate it gonna be picking up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. A couple people tried to tell me about myself, and then they tried to tell me I didn't know anything about Zelda, to which I had to that's when we did our Zelda series, which we need to get back into, by the way. Because they told me I didn't know anything about Zelda. I'm like, challenge accepted. So
and again, this leads right back to them same people. Like, so who was right?
Oh, they're not gonna say nothing. They might actually pull the tweet.
Yeah. Oh, I'm pretty sure the tweets, the videos, the comments are mysteriously deleted.
No, that go.
So they drop a 6-minute first look. Now don't get me wrong, I love Hyrule Warriors. We've actually talked about this too, Andre, because a lot of people say it's not canon. And I'm like, yeah, they said it's not canon. I believe that, except for one character. If they want to pull that thing in at any time, they can pull the trigger on that. So it kind of is, kind of ain't canon, and I'm sticking with that. But the first one was great because it made you feel like all Dynasty Warriors games, if you ever played any of the Muso games, because they do it better than anybody else,
Yeah.
it made you feel like a legit badass.
Yeah, it
Mhm.
did.
It just does. And I will and I'm gonna die on this hill. Queen Zelda, that's right, I said Queen Zelda because in the Japanese translation, she's Queen Zelda, not Princess, is the most OP character on that game.
Yeah. She is.
I'm going to die on that hill because I'm like, she's faster than Link, she's better than Link. I stopped playing with Link. That's embarrassing for me
Outside
to
of
say.
the story bitch, yeah, everybody basically dropped Link.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to say instantly.
Like, bro, I mean, you cool and all, and you still our boy. You just sit down. I got Sheik, I got Impa, I got Zelda, I got Midna. I'm even gonna play as your little sister Linkle. I'm not
Right.
playing as you. You cool though. You cool. You cool. Don't get me wrong. You cool. But yeah, yeah. Let me get Super Saiyan 3 Ganon too. Like I ain't studying you. So that happens. So we get this one. Now this one is a prequel. This one does the thing that they should have did that I thought they was gonna do, and I'm glad they're doing it. The actual what happened 100 years before. Now this is gonna be some Star Wars Rogue One stuff. So be prepared. You know how this ends. If you play the game,
It,
you already know how this
Yeah,
ends.
about to say you already know how to end.
it is bad for everybody involved.
Everybody involved. So
Yeah.
if you're one of them people that some of y'all are not gonna be able to handle this game from an emotional standpoint, I'm going to tell you that right now. Because
Yeah.
if Nintendo plays this right, you're not gonna be able to that end them last 2-3 chapters. You're gonna hate them.
Oh, it
Because
was horrible.
especially if you read the diaries and all that stuff in Breath of
Right.
the Wild, and
Yep.
you talk to them when you go to free them from the divine beast, you really gonna hate Nintendo and Koei Tecmo by the end of
And I think that's what the interesting part was when they said they worked close with the team on the story. I was like, okay, this isn't gonna just be some cookie cutter situation. Like they really gonna tell the story and they gonna show it out too. Like, man,
Well,
that's
you see even in the trailer, you see Rivali take a couple arrow shots.
oh yeah.
Yep.
You see him take an arrow shot.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to figure out how they're gonna do this thing with Urbosa because they didn't already said Urbosa was like the queen. So I want to
Oh,
see how they're gonna catch her slipping.
oh no, she gonna have one
Mm.
of them Braveheart moments.
Yeah.
They gonna take her down while she fighting.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's the only way I can see them doing that. Mifa, I can see how Mifa gonna get taken down. She's just probably gonna get snuck.
That's isn't that's exactly how it happened. Anyway,
Mifa just gonna get snuck now. Fake Falco Lombardi, he deserved to get shot. I don't like him. But what, man? Don't act like y'all
Why?
like him now. Don't
Why?
act like y'all like him.
look,
I
I'm
ain't got
just
no
saying
issues, man.
you got some unnecessary issues with that character.
Okay, so maybe I took it a little personally when he was talking trash in that second cutscene. Maybe I took it personally. I don't know. So
Sounds
that
right.
being said, he is an imposter of Falco, and Falco needs to come out of Smash Bros. And slap the taste out of his mouth. But that being said, I felt nothing when he got shot. I actually laughed at that part of the trailer.
Wow.
So, because he
Well, then.
deserved.
All right then.
I mean,
These are jokes, Falco fans. These are jokes, Falco fans. I mean, Rivali fans. My bad.
They don't care. They gonna come after you either way.
Yeah, they are. They are. I did like that they actually showed a little bit of that in the actual trailer.
Right.
Showed like them falling, like they showed Urbosa fall to a knee. They showed Rivali get shot. They showed Mifa. They showed something attack Mifa and catch her by surprise. They didn't show what happened to the Root though. That's gonna be interesting.
All right.
But I like that they actually showed like we're going there.
they literally going to show everybody's defeat. So that means even Link's defeat is going to have to be one of them spectacular fights.
Well, I think because you in the actual game they show him fall because he apparently he's gonna have to be running with her through. That's why I said like the last 2 or 3 chapters of that story mode is gonna have to be him just grabbing Zelda and going on the run.
Right,
Yep.
right.
Because the only reason why he fell because he was tired and he was shot all to hell. I mean, they were basically beat up on him by that, but he made sure that Zelda didn't have a scratch on her.
Right.
So it's gonna be interesting. Like when he finally does, like, I mean, because because it's gonna happen. I mean, they got to show it happen.
Yeah.
I feel so messed up though. He's the only one that gets revived. That's still the part that I find messed up. He's the only one.
And they
It's like,
didn't
no,
have much time though.
like
They
we
had
can't.
to. That's the funny part about it. Yes, he dies, but he literally dies, and they have to take him to the shrine right there because if they
Right.
don't,
He's done. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm just gonna guess that they couldn't get to everybody else. That's
Well,
the only
remember,
thing I'm assuming.
well, yeah, because had to get inside the divine beast, and when nobody getting in there, the way they made it seem, when nobody getting in there. Like once once the champions got in, it got locked. They got jumped.
Mm.
Dang, I can't wait to see this, man.
I'm so looking forward to this. And then, like if you actually watch the actual trailer, not the actual first look, but the actual trailer, they're going to do another thing. They're going to do another thing on September 26th, and that's Tokyo Game Show. So we're gonna get, according to I think Famitsu, we're gonna get like a 50-minute gameplay, and then they're gonna show all we can play with and all that stuff. So now my question is, since during this time Impa is supposed to be young, are we gonna get Impa? Are we gonna?
I hope so.
Like, because I just don't know who all the guest characters are gonna be.
I mean, it would make sense for them to have Impa because she would have had to have been around to be able to assist Zelda during that time period.
And she wouldn't have been like, she would have had to been like a teenager. I would say she would probably had to been at least 17, because in Breath of the Wild she's clearly like 120 or something like that. Clearly, so and so I'm guessing, are we gonna get full on ninja Impa? Because they don't show how she looked when she was young, so they have free reign over that.
Right.
You know, but I did like that they showed the Yiga clan, that we get to beat up on them. I did like seeing the mobs, and I did like that there is going to be a Lionel. I love fighting Lionels now. I ain't gonna lie, when I first played Breath of the Wild, they scared the crap out of me. I used to run from them.
Yeah.
Now, I need a couple weapons, but you got a full thing full of them. Yeah, I lost one sword, so I need to go find me a Lionel and kill it. So that's how I am now. So I'm looking forward to fighting them, but my only concern is like fighting as Zelda, because they did show a screenshot of you fighting as Zelda, and in the story she's not a fighter. So
no, like she's just using like stuff from the Sheikah Slate. It seemed like
they're probably going to be modeling her more after want to say the older Zelda, like Zelda 2 Zelda, where she was more of a magician, mage type character.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I would say that's the only thing, because they go out of their way in Breath of the Wild to tell you she don't know how to fight.
She's not combat ready.
Yeah, that's why Link had to go everywhere with her, because she has no clue. And the whole thing with her escaping from Link and then running around about to get her head cut off by them Yiga clan. It was like, yeah, like you probably need to stop trying to run from this dude. He's trying to do his job.
I would think though she'd have to have some sort of, like she'd have to be powerful with her magic to be able to hold Ganon off for 100 years.
Right.
Head up, yeah.
Be trapped with him for 100 years.
It does help that she has the entirety of the Triforce on the back of her hand. That does help. So
true.
And
I wonder how they're gonna do the character building though, because we all know what's gonna happen at the end, but it's kind of like, do we do a whole RPG system thing? Do you do a whole combat evolution like they do with Fire Emblem Warriors, to where you go from only being able to do XXY to X 55 times and then Y? Like, how they gonna how they gonna do that?
Well, it's gonna be the same thing.
I'm guessing they're gonna try to mirror the controls from Hyrule Warriors.
Right.
I think that's what they're gonna try to do. They'll probably try to add some more Breath of the Wild-esque type stuff, but because they did show that that special bar is back. They did show that. It is there. So, but we didn't have a magic meter either.
So now are we doing like your typical, I guess, scripted fighting game, and like akin to Dragon Ball Z, to where, let's say for example, if you play any Dragon Ball Z game and you have to defeat Raditz but you lose, like am I expected to win that fight but yet still show that I lost, or are you going to say, okay, let's like overpower this character so that way you lose and it's guaranteed that's what was supposed to happen?
Well, I'm hoping they do that, because I hate it when they make you fight and win and then they show you lose. I hate that.
Right.
So just show me lose.
But they did do that with Hyrule Warriors, though, with a couple of the scenes where you did actually have to lose to the opponent because you couldn't damage them. Or
Right.
your damage was so minimal that if you did happen to win, it was going to take you like an hour to get through that fight.
Right.
So
and yeah, so I'm hoping that they do that, especially with the champions when they fall, because
Right.
to
yeah,
me
I
it
have a
just
feeling
makes
they're going
more
to do that.
sense. Now, once you get out of the story mode and you go into free mode, then let me beat the brakes off of them.
Right.
But yeah,
Oh man, I just thought about how Urbosa's going to go down. You remember how Noble 6 goes down in Halo Reach on the
yeah.
planet, the last one there?
Oh
That's how
yeah,
her fight's going to go. It's going to be survive as long as you can.
yeah. Because
Just
Oh
with
wow.
enemies constantly pouring it. That would
well,
be appropriate for her.
yeah,
That'd be
because
crazy.
she's supposed to be the strongest one.
Yeah.
She's supposed to be the strongest one.
So that makes sense if they set you up with a situation where
Yeah,
mobs just keep pouring in on you, and you
yeah.
can just keep beating them until you're done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean, because I'm still trying to figure out, like, even in the actual game Breath of the Wild, I'm like, how the hell did the Thunder Blight beat her? I'm like,
I had to have done it when she was too tired to fight,
yeah,
so she
We
had to have
have
been
to.
worn
Yeah.
down.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, because that was the only one. Like everybody else, you could actually see how it could have happened, except for Urbosa. Because especially when they explain how trill she is, you're like, how did you lose? Like,
Right. Had to be a beatdown, like Dre said, because I mean, I don't know. I don't know no other way.
yeah,
That's the only thing I can think of that's appropriate for her. It's just
Yeah.
like you have to have and she's a one character army. You have to have a massive force to take her down.
Right.
yeah.
Mhm.
Because and plus she controls lightning at will. So
Yeah. I
it
mean, think
ain't.
about it. If it took a lot of them to take down Link, and she's stronger than him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, with more fighting experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so looking forward to this, man. I'm so looking forward to this. Like, I don't think people understand how much I'm looking forward to this, just because I'm like, all the questions I wanted to know about that
Mhm.
battle, I'm going to find out.
And it comes out this year.
Yeah,
Yep.
So I mean, that works.
November. Oh
So
Yeah.
yeah, already
Nintendo,
pre-ordered.
Nintendo and Koei Tecmo, since this is done or being done or pretty much finished,
Yeah.
Right.
how about the war that took place before Link to the Past, the imprisoning war? Give us that one
Oh, that would be dope.
Mm.
so we know what happened.
That would be dope because the only thing we got on that is like fan fiction. That's the only
Right.
thing we
Yeah.
got on that. Like, there's so minimal stuff. Well, I take that back. If you go through Ocarina of Time, they kind of try to tell you,
Yeah.
but they want you to fill in the blanks. Which Miyamoto, sometimes I love him, sometimes he gets on my nerves with that mess. But but the way they set it up in Ocarina of Time was like, yeah, we gonna tell you the main stuff. Like, yeah, Ganon did do this and Ganondorf did do that, but you fill in the blanks on what you think happened.
Right.
Mhm.
Like, this is
But
not
I
a
mean,
choose your own adventure.
the thing though, with them doing the Hyrule Warriors games, if they continue it as a series, they can fill in so many of those gaps because you got the gap between Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker that was a whole war. Then you have the imprisoning war, which is another split from that timeline. That was a whole war. Then you got the separation between Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess, which was another whole war.
Yeah, and
Wow.
the good thing
And two
about
out of
those,
the three of those situations, there was no link.
yeah, that was I was about to say that. Like, the good thing about that is you could get away now. You can tell your own story because Link ain't there.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Link,
they could go ahead and slip that character in from the broadcast satellite Zelda games, the Hero of Light, the one that replaces Link when he's not around.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. The one that they kind of tried to say was canon, but they never gave a clear answer on that.
Yeah,
They
they
never
never did.
did. They tried, no.
And if they did that, they could set it up for the character to be male or female because the Hero of Light was never given a definite gender.
No, the one, and really the Hero Light. Only thing the Hero Light ever did was like slow stuff down. He didn't
Right.
stop nothing.
Right.
No, it was
Exactly.
a stand-in for when Link wasn't available because the
Yeah,
Exactly.
Triforce of Courage was inactive at that point.
yeah, and plus there was no Zelda, so they can't.
Well, a couple of those, I
Well,
think
yeah,
the Imprisoning War Zelda was around.
Zelda wasn't around, but yeah, Link wasn't around.
Yeah.
Ganon was trapped, so there was no. Yeah, Courage had nobody. So
Yep.
basically, because yeah, now if they want to do Imprisoning War, yeah, that would be dope, and you can actually tell your own story and make it canon. Because like
Mhm.
I said, Miyamoto never really said. He just like gave you the major plot points, and then basically told everybody else to fill it in. Really, because the only thing that happened in all of those was Ganondorf does touch the Triforce, but because he killed everybody in the room, that's why it separated.
Yep.
That's the only thing that stays the same throughout that little whole the plot points is that yes, Ganon kills all the people in the room, and when he touched the Triforce, he reached out and grabbed it, but his hands was bloody, and that's why it separated.
And it's divided up the world.
Yeah, basically, essentially. So, which is why he also turns into a giant pig. But that's neither here nor there. So, but yeah, let us know what you guys think. Are you guys looking forward to Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity? I'm looking forward to that.
You should be.
I mean, and well, before we go to the next topic, do you think like not in the story mode, but in like the free mode, do you think that it would be a good idea for them to shoot over a couple of characters from the original Hyrule Warriors, like maybe Lana or Linkle, or just to have fans be like, "Hey, look, we ain't forget about you."
I think it would be a good idea, especially if they keep it
only available in the free mode, though. Only available in the free mode. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be good because they're not a part of the story, but people are always going to want additional content to play around.
Right. They just
and
if
they keep they keep that same adventure mode set up from the last game, be good to go.
Right. Yeah. Plus, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I am kind of a Linkle fan. I actually like her semi-automatic crossbows.
Right.
The M16 of crossbows.
I'm like, how the hell you shoot so many arrows so fast?
The AR-15 of crossbows. Dude, man, they never ran out. She was the 70s blaxploitation hero of crossbows because they never ran out of ammo.
That's true.
Never ran out of ammo. Like, bruh, you have a 6-shooter that shot more than 6 times and you never reloaded.
Hey.
Not one bullet.
You never stop and empty the thing out and put a new. No, but you keep shooting. I counted 30 shots, so that's basically what she had. So, I mean, hey, like I said, I love Linkle. Plus the complete lack of sense of direction. Gotta love that. Ronoro Zoro.
I was about to say the same thing.
One time for the One Piece fans. So, all right. So now this is a question that strikes me a little close to home because I am such a fan of the series, and for some reason, people still think that this character is coming to Smash. Why haven't we gotten a new Ninja Gaiden game?
That's a good. I mean, the way I look at it after playing Ninja Gaiden, I mean, I kind of put it in the same field what they do with F-Zero, right? And I know that's a weird comparison, but it's one of those things to where, I mean, what else do you do with it? Because I mean, I'm not too familiar with, let's say, if there's a lore with Ninja Gaiden, I just kind of play the games and leave it at that. But is there anything else they can do with it per se?
Well, technically, there's a lot they could do with it because Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden are intertwined.
Right.
So they could always use the same corporations that are running the tournaments in Dead or Alive as the reason that Ryu Hayabusa has to go out and fight. Because they're always messing with his clan. They always try to go after his clan and their weapons. Yeah. Like you can just pick anybody from those groups.
So now, I mean, do you think it's one of those things to where they're just trying to do something different as opposed to just kind of like the whole skill / run through, do this, get a couple of powers here and there, and just try to make it, I guess you could say, more next gen, if you will, if they do another one?
I mean, there's not really a whole lot that they could add to the play formula.
Right.
Because it's pretty much perfect the way it is, unless they want to add in new weapons.
Right.
But the formula of how the game plays works pretty much on any format you do it with. As long as the game is running at 60 plus frames per second and you can get that high speed action, I don't think too many people would be mad. It's just they have to come up with a story that makes sense for it. Like if they wanted to take the clone Kasumi from Dead or Alive and make her a main enemy in Ninja Gaiden, that would make sense. Because you could include her clan in there and have them all working together to take down this clone that's supposed to be uber powerful.
Okay.
But it just depends on what they want to do with the story. That's really their biggest hiccup.
Gotcha.
My only request is that I don't get another James Bond villain that they had in Razor's Edge, because that dude, I'm like, bruh, are you trying to audition for the next James Bond role? I mean, because you are cackling a little bit too much. He's a proper British accent. I'm expecting him to go get some tea. I'm like, Ryu, will you just kill him and get this over with, please? I'm like, why are we doing this? You're better than him. So,
Now you said it.
that's. I know I wasn't the only person thinking that.
Nah,
That
you wasn't.
Better than him.
I mean, the
But man,
whole
you could
that
have
whole
taken him
first
out 2
chapter.
seconds.
Yeah, dude, that whole first chapter when he went on that whole like 2 minute diatribe about how and then start doing all the operatics. I'm like, okay, Mr. James
Right.
Bond, you're not getting the next James Bond movie, all right? You're not. They're not using you. They're never gonna animate James Bond. You're not gonna be the next James Bond movie. All right, you can stop now. So yeah, I mean, but no, I loved Razor's Edge. So I'm actually that's why I was like, okay, where is it at? You would think that they would Tecmo would have had something for it for this gen period,
Right.
but especially because didn't it do well on the Wii U?
Yeah, it did
It sold
extremely
Yeah.
well
well
on the
on the
Wii U,
Wii U,
didn't it?
and then it sold well when they put it on. I think on the PS3 and the Xbox 360 when they did the remakes
Yeah,
on that.
yeah, because that first one they did, the first Ninja Gaiden 3 they did, nobody really like that. So they had to do the Razor's Edge version and put that on PS3 and
Hmm.
360, and that's when it sold. But
Yeah,
yeah, because I was saying, I'm like, I know it sold well. I didn't. Now you didn't hear about it like breaking records or nothing, but it sold
Right.
well. It did better than expected. So I was like, oh, I'm wondering why they didn't. Unless, like you said, they probably just can't figure out what store they want to use.
yeah.
Right.
Which is funny because I made that video like a month ago saying that they should do the trilogy, and then we got the
Oh yeah,
report.
Girl, I be
the
trying to tell
announcement.
you, man. You think people don't be listening to you? I swear, because
Well,
it's too much of
that's
a
something that they would
coincidence.
have had to have been working on though, because that's not something that they could just throw out there now since it's supposed to be coming out pretty soon.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, but that seems to be a trend now to where there doesn't seem to be any new ideas, or if there are new ideas, it's taking longer than usual. So people are just kind of sending out those older games, which I mean, I feel like at this time makes sense because around this time you're getting a lot of new gamers that wouldn't have touched that era in the first place anyway. So I mean,
Hmm.
it's a great time to start bringing things back up, especially when you talk about keeping the lifespan of certain games alive. If you don't want to get into getting older systems, you just remake them, put them back out there. And it's smart from a business standpoint. Fans may hate it, but it's smart from a business standpoint.
yeah.
Yeah,
Especially
plus
with how these consoles are actually selling well. I mean,
Right.
why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
yeah, and on top of that, it doesn't cost them as much money to go ahead and take a game they've already put out and
Right.
rework it.
Yeah.
Right.
'Cause especially with like Sigma and the other one, now you can actually put it in 1080 in 60 frames and it'll
Right.
work. You know, because before those games were not in 1080 and they were upscaled.
Right.
So and everybody knew it. So I mean, now you can actually do it and do it right. So and there's a lot of port houses that's good, like Panic Button and Grizo, and they'll knock that out in about six
Yeah,
months. They'll knock the
Right.
trilogy out in 6 months. So I mean, the way they work. So yeah, now that I will probably get. I will probably buy that trilogy more than
Right.
likely. I will probably, and I don't have a problem spending 60 for that trilogy. Like I didn't spend 60 for the Devil May Cry because I only wanted Devil May Cry 3. That's just me. I didn't like 1 and 2. I just wanted 3.
Right.
So, but that one I'll get because I did enjoy Sigma and I love Razor's Edge. So, yeah,
Now, outside of the people that do like Ninja Gaiden, it now has some form of competition. When you start talking about Sekiro and now Ghost, you think people will even entertain it with how fast-paced Ninja Gaiden is compared to those two games for the most part?
yeah.
it's Ryu Hayabusa. Yes.
I think. I think so because it's different styles of play.
Yeah.
Right.
You get a different world of experience with those types of games that you get from Ninja Gaiden. It's the same thing with something like Shinobi.
Right.
Like they all play differently. Whereas I would look at Shinobi and Ninja Gaiden as the more faster paced games, but they still have
Hmm.
different play styles. They have different characters for you to experience, which they do need to do. Do need to do more Shinobi games, but that's on Sega.
Right.
But with Ghost of Tsushima and what was
Sekiro.
the other games? Yeah,
Sekiro. Yeah.
those they're different. They provide a different style. They're more stealth based when it comes down to that. So
True. True. True.
It works itself out. There's a balance to them.
You forgot to add something, Andre, in your breakdown of Shinobi. Categorically hard. So
That depends on which one.
I didn't say broken. I said hard. Now broken, yes, that depends on which one. I said hard. I didn't say broken. I didn't say categorically
Well,
broken.
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But yeah, and plus, like I said, there's a rumor that Ryu Hayabusa is one of the characters in the DLC for Smash. So
Why
if
not?
that happens and that trilogy gets announced, we know why.
You think it's an exclusive thing or it's gonna be multi-plat?
Well,
Probably be multi-plat.
The trilogy was announced rumored for Switch and PS4.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Which would make no sense for it to not be on the Xbox because the series was on the Xbox.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it started on the Xbox, especially but then when nobody really playing it in Japan, so they just went to Sony because like when nobody playing in Japan, they weren't making no money.
People over in the West was buying it, but people in Japan weren't because they didn't like Xbox.
Right. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it would. Yeah. So if Ryu Hayabusa is the next character, like some people think he is, I don't know. I don't believe that because all I can see is if it is him, all I'm gonna hear is that's another sword character. I'm like,
it's better than having another Fire Emblem character.
Let's say but you're gonna hit that argument from the same people that want Dante
and
right,
yeah,
right.
Like yeah, and if I was Sakurai, I would put a costume on Ryu that made him look like a Fire Emblem character.
I mean, technically, you could pull any one of his dead or alive costumes and get that effect.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would do that on purpose. So, and matter of fact, the whole time I'm doing the presentation, that's all I would play in that character as. But that's just me. I'm petty like that. So, Ubisoft. Forward, they had another one, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I completely forgot about it, and came in a little late. So they showed stuff.
Right, that's pretty much what it was.
They showed stuff.
Hey, like I said, I was excited about two things. So
yeah. Man. I mean, because I'm not going through everything in that thing. Forget that. So
waste my time.
No. So the part I did like Immortals, Rise of Phoenix or Phoenix Rising. I don't know how to.
Phoenix Rising. Yeah.
Yeah. It looked interesting, and I'm probably picking that up day one just because it looks interesting. That's right up my alley as far as fantasy is concerned. I like the gameplay style. I like the art style. I like the game. I have an idea what the gameplay is going to be like. My only question for Ubisoft, why did y'all use James Brown's "Ants in My Pants" on that trailer? I mean,
game companies have been missing with the music choice. So I'm
look, don't get me wrong. I love myself some James Brown. I'm not hating. I'm not one of these people that's hating because y'all put James Brown on. You do know what your game is about, right?
I swear when they want to go use music that's licensed music from a company or an artist's music, they do not pick the right songs.
They don't. I mean, because it kind of. It to me is like, why is this playing over in a Minotaur showing up? I'm like, I don't. Why is this playing and Phoenix is fighting harpies? Why is this? I'm like, this isn't what needs to be playing. I'm like, I was thinking maybe some Lord of the Rings-esque type stuff, some grand scale, John Williams, Hans Zimmer type stuff. Nah. Y'all went with the Godfather Soul.
Hey.
and it's like they act like there aren't, like if they wanted to present it, they should have picked the classical track. And it's not like there aren't black classical artists out there.
Stanley Clarke
haven't existed.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, there's plenty of them. I'm like,
that's what it feels like more to me. It was pandering to these are black artists. We're trying to support black artists, so we'll pick James Brown over everybody. I'm like, nah.
Like, no, dude, that's like putting Outkast AT Aliens over it. No.
No. Don't give them ideas because it might happen next. You never know.
Yeah, please don't put that on the second trailer. I'm sorry.
The next theme that somebody's going to use is going to be "Beat It." That's what somebody they're gonna.
Oh,
No.
man.
They're gonna use Sorry Miss Jackson. They're gonna go completely left field and just use Sorry Miss Jackson.
Phoenix Rising. Sorry, Miss Jackson.
Yeah, I'm
Nowhere
calling.
near each other. Like,
I'm calling it right now.
geez.
It just
It's gonna
don't
be
work.
some rain. It's gonna be some rain. It's gonna be a scene where there's gonna be some raining, and then there's gonna be Sorry Miss Jackson, and you
That'd
go
be
see.
the only part that makes sense. I mean, like,
I'm sorry, that's just funny to me. But
Nah,
oh,
you know what somebody's going to use, and that's going to be real Slim Shady.
yep, yeah, real Slim
That's
Shady.
what,
I
that's
think
what's
has
going to get
nobody
used.
used that yet?
No,
Not so far, not.
not so far. I mean,
Now,
because
now if it's a game where you're making your own custom character, that might actually work.
I
But
would expect like Saints Row or something would have done that by now, but
yeah, they don't do that honestly.
wow, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
because the one that it didn't throw me off, but when the Suicide Squad game used bombs over Baghdad,
Now
I'm
that
like,
was
okay,
dope.
that was dope. I'm like, all right, but yeah, Ants in My Pants just no, just no.
there could have been better songs picked.
Yeah, that was just weird. Watch Dogs Legion. Is it just me, or the more that I see this game, the more I just don't care?
No,
It,
not you.
I mean, it had me intrigued, but then again, like I said, I've been giving passes on Watch Dogs since it first came out. Because I mean, I liked the idea of it. It's just they haven't found the right execution for it. So
Well,
I mean,
they had an opportunity at the right execution when they put Watch Dogs on the Wii U.
that is
But
true.
they
Yes.
still didn't do it, even though they talked about how that's what they were going to do.
Right. True. But we all know how the Wii U in itself kind of got not fully
Shafted.
utilized. I mean, it was definitely shafted. I mean, because you
Yeah.
think about games like Deus Ex and you think about how they did Batman, and then you look at Watch Dogs and it's like, okay, did you not see the opportunity to use this gamepad the best way possible of any of those versions of Watch Dogs?
Like,
Like,
it-
I don't know.
and the bad thing is they had put Zombie U on there, which did
Yes,
everything that Watch Dogs should have done.
correct.
And
Correct.
Zombie U was an incomplete game when they put it on there.
Right. And see, that's the thing. I bought Zombie U just because it utilized the gamepad in a good way. Not that I cared to get it, but the simple fact that they did it the right way, I went and I purchased it. But
And it wasn't bad. It was actually a pretty good game.
it was, yeah, it was. I just, I'm not into the whole zombie thing. That's not
Yeah.
my thing. But it's just, I don't know. It seems like the ideas are there, but they just don't want to do it. And that goes for anything. Because even when you talk about the Wii U gamepad, think about the PS5. How many people are really going to use this DualSense the way that Sony claims that it works?
Nobody.
Barely anybody.
Nobody.
Be multi-platform, and if they work on specific features to each platform, it's not going to work on the other version of the game.
True. That is true.
Which is dumb for them, because if they went with how Splinter Cell Conviction was the last one that they did.
I think that is. I think that's
Yeah,
the name.
it had special uses for the gamepad on the Wii U,
Mm-hmm.
and then it had special usages for 360 with the Kinect. They do that. There's actually more people out there who are willing to get each version of the game to experience it the way it was made on each platform.
Right. Correct.
But they don't want to do that.
Oh, and the last game that I clearly hated was Dance 2021. So,
Let
yeah.
Ubisoft get their money. Let them get their money, man. Like, let them get their money. I mean, obviously, it's a banger every time they
Yeah.
release it. It's like Kids Bop. It's a
basically,
banger
yeah.
every time. That's why they keep doing it.
They just finally stopped releasing it on the Wii.
Right.
I'm waiting for the Dance Revolution, the dance one of Hit 'Em Up and Nas's Ether.
Yeah, right. It never happened. I think you had a better chance of Dance Central doing that, but that game doesn't come out anymore.
Well, that's because that was exclusive to Microsoft, and we know
Kinect.
they're not going to redo Kinect, which again, stupid, especially if they pair it with
VR or anything like that.
Yeah, the HoloLens.
if they pair it with HoloLens,
Yeah.
it'd be awesome. But
Yeah,
they don't want to do that.
yeah.
It was like, y'all need to stop making these peripherals that could be really good and then not using them.
Facts. That's facts. I mean, there ain't nothing to say about that. But Yeah, the like I said, the Ubisoft presentation, I thought it was okay. The parts that I saw, um, other than that, I completely forgot that it was coming out. And there wasn't really nothing that really caught my eye outside of the Immortals game because I've been looking for that one ever since it was called Gods and Monsters. So
Right.
Yeah.
I'm glad it did get a release date of December 3rd across the board. Hey, other third parties, you can release them on the Switch the same day as you can on these other ones.
Look,
I
Just
don't
saying.
like. I don't get why they
So
do that. It's just like they think that if they drop it at a later date, it's going to do better. It's not.
no,
it's
it's
not.
not.
Mm.
It's really not. Falcon, I'm talking to you now.
Falcom, I
Because
swear they got a big problem with Nintendo. I swear they do.
Yeast 9 and Trails of Cold Steel 4. I'm finishing up Trails of Cold Steel 3, and you trying to force me to buy it on PS4. I see what you're doing. You better be glad I got a PS4.
Stupid.
Their biggest problem is if with games
That's
like
still,
that
by the
where
way.
one story bleeds into the next, they
Right.
need to be released at the same time.
Same time. Yeah,
Right.
they just do. Um, that was a joke, of course, but because I'm still getting Yeast 9 and Trails of Cold Steel 4. I just don't know what I'm getting on yet.
Right.
And I was gonna get Trails of Cold Steel 4 on the PS4, but Nintendo decided to drop Hyrule Warriors the next month. Who you think is getting top billing?
Right.
See, this is just why people forgot about Ubisoft because Nintendo kind of stole the show 2 weeks in a row.
That is true. That is
Yeah.
true.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't forget because of that. I was pissed off at Nintendo for doing this while I was on vacation.
See, I didn't even know about this Ubisoft event. Like, I'm always on social media, and I didn't see anything about it
Nah,
until
I
I get
didn't
on
either.
YouTube, and it's just like, hey, an event. I'm like,
And
okay.
that's
I
the
thought,
interesting thing because the one they did this summer, they talked about it
oh yeah,
the weeks leading up to it. They did not talk. They didn't remind anybody. I'm like, were y'all
no.
embarrassed or something? Or did y'all forget?
Probably.
But the other one
It
tanked
was
so
like,
doggone bad. It was just, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't have said nothing about this one either.
Yeah,
It's just-
uh,
yeah,
we ain't gonna really promote this one.
right,
yeah.
just in case you don't like it.
Well, because I mean, yeah, they showed some Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but I don't really, I
That's
don't
not even
follow.
Assassin's
It's
Creed.
not Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, and I don't even follow Assassin's Creed like that anymore. So they just need ain't. Oh, you know what? There is one more thing I need to talk about before we go to our last topic, and that's Prince of Persia.
I thought you was
Nope.
gonna leave that alone.
One thing, nobody asked for this. Second thing, I don't want the first one. I want the third one. Get it right. So, anybody else?
I just don't see why they didn't do a collection for that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Because didn't they have a collection before?
No, they
No.
did. They talked about it, but they
Oh,
didn't
okay,
follow
okay.
through on it because it was supposed to have all four games in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to have had all four games in it. But see, my thing is, all I really want is Two Thrones. Two Thrones to me was the best one.
Right.
So the first one, it was like, it's all right. The second one, they went way too emo. The third one was like, it was the perfect balance. The fourth one, I just, okay.
Yeah. That was the one you couldn't die in, right?
Yeah, it was
Right.
the cell shaded one, and you really
Right.
couldn't. I played it one time. I think I beat it, but I don't remember it because I didn't go. And I usually go back and replay games over and over again. But I got through the story of that one and just like, okay, I'm done. So
That was it.
yeah, so I don't know who was asking for Prince of Persia.
I
Uh,
mean, to be honest,
Really
people
don't.
are asking for it.
yeah, people are asking for it.
It's
Yeah.
just the
I
way
don't. Well, were they
it's
asking for
going.
the whole thing, or were they just asking for the
They,
first one?
what they were asking for was the remakes, or at least doing a collection, and then doing a
Oh,
collection in a way that everything has been upscaled, and it just seems like they're doing their own thing with this one. I don't know what this is, but even with that being pre-alpha footage, that still looked bad, like
This
horrible.
this was kind of like market testing. They're testing
Yeah,
to see if it can still get an audience.
right.
because it's only coming out on like PS4 and Xbox. So now they did try to come back and say that it may come out on the Switch and PC, but I'm like, why would you not put it out on the Switch and PC? I mean, I don't understand why you wouldn't.
They might as well did a Kickstarter, because I mean that's just exactly what they're doing, is just testing to see if people really gonna play it.
Yeah. So and like I said, I don't really care for the first two. I just want the third one personally.
Right,
So
right.
I mean, the first two are all right, I guess, but
I don't
the
know.
Even still, like when they released the games originally, they came out on all platforms.
Right.
yeah,
So
it
it's
did.
like it's an odd thing to do to not put it out on everything.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't see what the problem is, but once again, I don't work for Ubisoft. I don't know what they're talking about. So, they may be on some craziness that they may be on some foolishness. I don't know, because they got other problems that me and Jack we talked about before we went live. They got other problems to worry
Oh
about
yeah,
right
they
now.
definitely got bigger problems than that. Now I
They
did have a
got
question though. So I was excited because of me playing the game, liking it, and then it disappearing due to licensing reasons. But with Scott Pilgrim being shown as they're coming back with the whole
oh yeah.
DLC definitive edition. Now my question is, because I haven't done it yet, would you say that this is, I guess, River City Girls is better than this? Because I feel like this is River City Girls seem like, because I haven't played it yet, seems like an enhanced version of Scott Pilgrim. It's just Scott Pilgrim kind of has that love due to the movie and
Well,
the books.
well, I go out and say this much: Scott Pilgrim, as far as how it was built, was
Right.
based on the River City series.
Right.
So, and seeing as that series has been updated and remade, yeah, River City is going to be better, no matter which one it is, because
Right.
they've been updating it. They started going back and redoing them. Problem with Scott Pilgrim is that game forces all of the stories together in one game, where they could
That's
have
true.
done. It's a 7 chapter story. They could have
Yeah.
done each game as an
Hmm.
individual chapter.
But they focused it because based off of how I played it and what I saw, yeah. So they did it by like the movie did it pretty
Yeah,
much. Yeah.
where it's slammed everything together and it's disjointed because it's too much stuff in one thing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I like the movie.
Yeah.
I like the books and everything too. But I was looking at this because they didn't go too far into it. I think they were just playing off the nostalgia and everybody asking for it to come back to where did they? I mean, are the systems updated? Does it move different? Like how does it play? Because if it's playing the same way it did on the 360, then I mean, I might as well get River City Girls then.
Well, that's the other thing, and this is where you need a treehouse,
Yeah,
because
true, true.
that's one of the games you need a treehouse for.
Right.
Because then we can get a break that you can sit them down there and make them talk to you while it's being played.
Right. You
So
ask them questions. Yeah.
yeah, so I agree with you on that. 'Cause I never got a chance to play the Scott Pilgrim games on 360. I just watched the movie and read the books,
Right.
and I love the movie and the books, even though the books were a little bit better in my opinion
Yeah,
because it
they were.
stuff was more brought out. But I still think the movie did an excellent job of portraying what they had to portray in the allotted time they had to do it in. So
Right.
I'm interested in it, but yeah, River City Girls just have a special place in my heart just because it's hilarious.
Yeah, I still got to pick it up. I think I was waiting for it to go on sale. It just, when it did, it was a very small sale.
And
I was
it
like,
wasn't that long either. It
no, it
only was on
wasn't.
sale for like a weekend, I think.
Yeah.
It
So I was
wasn't
like,
long.
I'm waiting for it to drop because I mean, I'm not too big on going back and replaying games. So
Uh-huh.
it's like, I'm trying to get my feel for what I'm paying for. And I
And
know it's
plus
not
it's
that long of a
co-op.
game.
Plus
Yeah.
it's a co-op, so that'll be fun for that. It's a ridiculous game that I love just because it's crazy. But that's just me. All right, last thing. We saved the best for last. Xbox Series S. Microsoft went on and talked about it because they didn't have a choice, and they gave us a minute 35 video.
Mhm.
Details some specs. It's the discless one. It's what is it? 299, I think. No,
Yeah.
399.
Two
Two
ninety
299.
nine.
ninety nine.
299. I'm going to tell you right now. If you go and watch that video, if you're one of those people who like, oh, I need the highest and best graphics, and I need all of this other stuff, don't get this because this is a slap in the face to you. And the reason why I say that is because that thing is 512 gigs. It's coming with a 512 gig hard drive. If you're talking 4K, once again, I'm gonna put this in levels where people understand. Number one, that OS is gonna probably take up 125 gigs, so you're probably looking at
Yeah.
like 370, 360 when you actually get it.
Right.
Um, just for clarification, Destiny 2 is 88 gigs on its own, just for 1080.
Mm-hmm.
That thing gets up to 1440, it's gonna be very big. You're
Oh
only
yeah.
gonna have about 2 games. If you're into that, now you'll probably be able to get some indie games because the indie games ain't gonna be that big.
Right.
But you start talking about triple A's or you start talking about exclusive titles, they're gonna be in the. I don't expect any game of this upcoming PS5, Xbox Series XS. I don't expect any game like that to be under 100 gigs
Mm-mm.
off top.
True. especially considering the fact they don't compress.
Yeah.
So
So if you talking about getting a Series S, I think that's probably not a very good uh deal because of the simple fact that these games are getting bigger. They're not
right.
getting smaller. And I didn't hear that they were going to allow you to hook up a external hard drive to it. I assume they will, but
I
they
don't
didn't
think so.
confirm it yet. So
Because based off of those little, I guess I'm calling memory cards
yeah,
that they're selling, I mean they're making it seem like when you're talking about SSD, you can't use a plugged-in hard drive.
Well,
So
so
you're gonna have to buy
the,
those expensive
you
ass little memory cards.
yeah,
you can use a hard drive on them, but the hard drive will be for
The older games.
Xbox One and
Yeah.
down games.
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's where I'm like, okay, is this a good value? To me, I don't think so. But I'm not telling you how to spend your money. I'm just saying for me, it ain't a good value. If you are one of those people who wants the best of the best, you might as well just wait. If you plan on getting Xbox, you might as well just wait for Series X
Right.
and just go from there. Because I don't think just looking at what they gave us, and they probably are going to go into a little bit more detail because I think they have something coming next week.
Yeah.
They'll probably go into a little bit more detail, but just that minute 35, I'm like, bruh, y'all didn't convince me.
I mean, looking at the surface of it, because I've seen on Twitter the comparison of the Series S with the One X, and seeing, okay, yeah, the One X was kind of geared towards going towards 4K, to where this one's doing 1440, and a lot of people were like, okay, well, why would you go with the weaker hardware? And I was like, the only thing I can see is that Series S is going to be able to play the newer games after that 2 year mark,
Yeah,
to where your One X is not going to do that anymore. So that's the reason why. But I mean, that's the only logical thing. And then even then, when you're looking at the prices of it, I think the only reason why they're so much cheaper is because you're going to have to buy hard drive space. Like you're going to have to do that. The same thing that Nintendo just got crucified for with the Switch. That's essentially what you're going to have to do with these systems. They're going to start you off with what you said, 512 for the S, and then 1 terabyte for the X, and then the PS4 is like 825. So I mean, at this point, they're going to have to do exactly what the Switch did. They gave you 32 off bat. You're going to have to go and get your own SD cards. You're going to have to go get your own memory, because we have to keep it low enough to where, we have to take out enough stuff for you to afford it. Because
yeah,
if this was 600, 700, you were going to be upset. So we're just going to hit you on the back end with memory.
yeah.
Yeah.
And instead of
And
telling our developers to learn how to compress stuff.
well, either way, like with how they're supposedly designed, they need to learn to compress. That's
Yeah,
the problem. But
yeah. I mean,
even still, I also see the series. I see the Series S also being the lower end for families to be able to still get newer games.
True.
yeah,
Yep. Hmm.
yeah. But I still think that's because once again, like you said, Jack, you're gonna have to buy something on the back end.
Oh,
Hmm.
It's
you always gonna
whatever
have.
you had to buy is not gonna be cheap.
No, not even close.
So I mean,
Not
and once
even
again,
close.
they said 512 gigs of a hard drive. I know off bat that ain't enough because when I got my Xbox One day one, it had 500 gigs. When I after the OS and all that stuff, it was at 370.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not enough. 512 is not enough.
Yeah. I mean,
So
and then people talking about Xbox, PlayStation finna run into the same issue.
yeah,
It's just, I mean, it is what it is, and I mean, as much as we already know, the developers are not going to compress anything. They're going to let everything just float, and they're talking about, oh well, you don't have to put multiple assets in the game like you used to, because the hard drives are faster. I mean, it's not going to stop it from being as big as it is. As is, it is what it is. I mean, this is going to be a very expensive generation, because they're trying to keep up with the Joneses, even though they're failing in that department too. It's like I don't see the big jump. I mean, I've seen 4K. I played in 4K. I played games at 60 FPS. I played them in 120 FPS. And for as much money as they're charging, for as little games as probably going to do it, is not worth it. I think Nintendo started off the right way after GameCube and said, you know what, we're just going to give you more interesting ways to play, opposed to trying to keep up in that power struggle, because you're never going to keep up.
no, because the way tech goes, every 6 to 8 months, there's no way.
Right.
Mhm.
There's no way. Every six to
Right.
eight months is something new. I mean, y'all love that 30 series, right? Wait till next July. Wait till next July. There's no way you can keep up. There's literally no way.
No
I
way.
mean, people right now like, oh man, I can't wait to see what AMD coming out with. Yeah, you can't wait. Wait till next September.
Right.
They're gonna have something else. So, I, you, they laughed at Iwata for saying it, but Iwata wasn't lying. He was
Right.
like, "Look, man, we didn't tap out the 6th gen. We need to focus on how we approach gameplay development." Everybody laughed at him, told him he ain't know what he was talking about, and he don't need to be president of Nintendo. Guess who was right?
Right. And then not to mention when you look at things like DLSS right now to where they're doing it from a software standpoint, opposed to you going hardware, that's the more cost efficient and more logical way of doing it. Because I mean, you look at it now to where my last show we were talking about, the loss of sports games, but this kind of goes across the board with every genre to where a lot of these businesses outside of poor business practices here and there, but they kind of have to tap out because they can't keep up.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't build bigger teams. Your games take longer. People are not as interested. So, I mean, you're running into that headache of you're telling fans that the reason why developers don't do X, Y, and Z is because they need more power, which I feel like is total bull because I feel like the games that had not enough power gave you the more interesting and the more, I guess you could say, gameplay filled games. Like, I feel like the better games were on lower powered generation consoles. So now it seems like the more power you get, the worse the games get.
Yeah.
Or they get more lazy, it seems.
It's a lot less imagination goes into it.
True. Exactly. Right.
That's true. Very true. But people, that brings us to the end of this episode of the Wingin' It Podcast. Thank you for checking out episode 32. We will be up on Anchor, Spotify, and all the other good stuff, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever I put it up. So before we go, please check out my gaming channel. I put up some Shaolin versus Wu-Tang.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
It's on and popping, buddy. Now, if we can only get part 2 so I can get Tony Jaa. But that being said, Andre, anything you want to pimp out?
No, just check out my channel for the normal stuff that's going to be coming. Oh, I am going to be starting to post stuff on Anchor. So check that.
Nice.
That's
cool. All right, Jack.
Let me go fast because I got a lot of stuff to pimp. Got the Gaming Grounds podcast, the Family Affair podcast, the Insightfully Ignorant podcast. My new single just dropped on iTunes. Just got an email in the middle of this, so it finally dropped. And then other than that, man, I'm just constantly trying to stay busy, trying to make sure that I'm doing things from a music standpoint, selling beats on my new website, musicgroundrecords.com. It's a lot of stuff, man. I'm just trying to find my niche somewhere in here and, try to do my creativity as best way as possible and put it out to the masses.
Ooh. All right. I'm going to try to link a lot of that stuff in the description. I'm trying to link a lot of that stuff in the description. So, please check that out. Also, me and Mrs. T did another therapy session, this time for the MCU Netflix shows. Yeah, y'all probably gonna get mad at me for this one. I apologize ahead of time. So that will be up on either Wednesday or Thursday. Please check that out. And as always, thank you for watching. Wakanda forever. We'll see you next week.
Peace out, everybody.